Everybody, look at this.
I'd like to share something with you all tonight.
Louder, Christopher.
Louder.
This is statuary. It's a statue of a holy angel praying. It's made out of resin. It's cast. That's why there's a lot of detail on it. You can see the lines. You know, can you all
Can't
see
hear
it?
you, Christopher.
I've had this for at least the last 15 years. It's in my bedroom. When I sleep in bed, it's not that far away. And I point it, I aim it, you know, the angel is watching. And earlier tonight, we heard Aurora say, for the 1,000,000th time, pray with your angels. Talk about art, holy art, sculpture. And so I've been thinking about this for a few weeks. I wanted to bring this in and share this with you all and show you. 25 inches tall, probably weighs less than 10 pounds. It's actually hollow, and if a person wants to put it outside, you can fill it with sand and make it heavier. Of course, the weather and the sun, it's not that great for the statue. But earlier this year, my granddaughter had a birthday, and she just turned 6. And I decided both my grandchildren I would send one of these, and I did. And I was real surprised how much they appreciated it. And the word calming came up. That the angel is very calming.
Oh.
They put it in their house. When I sent it, it was her turn, so I sent it as a gift to her. My grandson, who's 9, he said, "You know what? I got a great idea. Let's sort of transfer this from my granddaughter to all of us, because we're all going to share it." And I said, that's a wonderful idea. Please go ahead and do that. So I wanted to share this. It's a holy praying angel. It's very calming, and it's one way. For example, when I wake up and I have prayers, morning prayers, I'll pray through this statue to my guardian angel, and then I'll follow that immediately with the St. Michael prayer, because it begins, St. Michael the Archangel, right? Defend us in battle. We do that after every Mass. So I just wanted to share this. I'll turn it in the back. You can see there's some detail on the feathers in the back. There's a lot more detail on the feathers, both high up and in the middle. It's just a beautiful piece of art. It's very, to me, very uplifting. And it's what I also found is when you have stuff like this in your residence, in your home, it can be statuary, it can be holy art, it can be a picture of the Holy Mother, a crucifix, all of the things the Lord teaches us about all the time. They're so beautiful, they're so uplifting, very spiritual. It just kind of, when I come home and I walk in my room and it's not there, where is it? Oh, it's here. I took it out tonight. It has to go back. It just belongs. It's just like a part of me. So I wanted to share this with you.
Remember what we said in the past? If for some reason they started rounding up Christians, specifically Catholics, we should all be the ones arrested first. Why? We have plenty of evidence. They go to our homes. It stands out. We're Catholic. No other household will have all these items except Catholic. Right? Well, Christians, they'll probably have angels. They have bear crosses. But if they're looking for Catholics, this is how they know. Okay? So I'm not asking you to turn your home into a Catholic gift shop. But there has to be plenty of evidence, because as Christopher said, when you find something something that reminds you of the Lord, which is what we want to do. We don't want to stray from His sight, and we don't want us straying from, Him straying from. Either way, you want Him to be looking at you all the time by way of, like, okay, if you have, like by our TV, I have Sacred Heart of Jesus right there. So would He approve of what I'm watching, right? Okay? So I'm saying there are areas in your home, especially the bedrooms, right? Every bedroom has to have a little shrine. I have this. And you have the basics, which is, the crucifix, Blessed Mother, Saint Michael. Okay? He was the one that drove Lucifer out, remember? And then your saints, your angels, you can have as many as you want. You have a section in every room, at least, maybe by the doorway of every room, you should have a crucifix. But you have a little shrine. You have all the essentials right there. Okay? So that, you have a reminder. So God, the Word of God, the Bible, prayers, they're on your phones now. I hope everybody has at least one app there. At least you have at least one website that's Catholic. So it's at our fingertips. Prayers during the day, liturgy of the hours, little short prayers. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, I love you, save souls. Lord, have mercy on me, a sinner. The Jesus prayer. So you have all these things. So you have to be the first one to be convicted if anybody went around looking for Catholics. You're the first one. Clothing, you have. Oh, I'm sorry, Starbucks. Even that has a lot of Christian analogies, okay? You name the movie, we have Christian Catholic analogy. Even if it's a bad movie, a lot of times they use Catholic symbols, right? There's always something Catholic in whatever movie you see. I'm telling you, every novel, every comic book, there's going to be something Catholic there. I dare you to find it. There will be something there because this is the faith that has affected all aspects of culture. Because like we said, even the Satanists do everything we do in an inverted way, distorted way. So there's always something Catholic there, whether it's for Catholics or against Catholics, there's always something Catholic there. I dare you, this is what you're going to find in culture. They try as best they could to eliminate us, to get us out, to persecute us. Guess what? We just come back stronger and bigger every single time. Every single time.
At least I find that some of my cherished things that I've got from my relatives over the years are that I have a cross in my house that my great-grandmother brought from Ireland in 1887. And when my mom just passed away last year, she had a statue of St. Anne with Mary as a little girl that faded, and she repainted, as long as I can remember, she had that in her house.
Yeah.
That was something cherished that I got from her when she passed.
Go ahead, Drew. Go. No, I have at my bedside, I have like a electric fountain that flows all the water.
Good. All right.
And a bowl with anointed holy oil.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
So, in our bedroom, we have two altars.
Yeah.
I have one picture, the only picture I have of all 8 of us, brothers and sisters together, happened to be taken at my mom, outside on my mom's funeral, but it's the only picture I have.
Yeah.
So I have that. I also have something you might know is stone,
Yeah.
a heart,
Yeah.
and a nail.
Yeah.
And on both sides of that are there, of course, 4 of them have gone to heaven. So I have their 4 prayer cards,
Yeah.
the dates, and also each month I'm able to, offer their prayers of forgiveness,
Yeah.
repose the souls and pray for them. But also, we have pictures of our, saints, special
Yes.
saints, the statue of, Saint Elizabeth and Saint Anne.
Yeah.
And my wife has her family, her mother, her father, brother,
Yeah.
and that type of thing. It's a great opportunity,
Yeah.
So if they came into our bedroom, we'd be shot dead. No, but in all seriousness, it's a memory of your life, right? And everything that went before that.
So yeah, be careful. We're not talking about superstitious
Exactly.
items or charms, or practices, or the occult. We're not talking about those. All these things are representative of who we love, Jesus Christ, His mother, our saints. Okay, they remind us. You know why? Because we're flesh and blood people. We were just talking about the senses of the faith. We use our senses. That's the way we internalize things. When you were learning your multiplication table or whatever else, your teachers took so much trouble cutting things out for you and making examples and taking rocks from the yard or whatever, just to make things tangible for the little ones. For those who are learning, which we're still learning, the more senses you use, the more you can internalize the lesson. That's what the Catholic Church, we call it what? Incarnational. We worship with our entire bodies. We prostrate, we kneel, we stand up, we raise our hands, we raise our voices, no matter how they are, out of tune or whatever. We raise our voices. The more you use of the senses, the better. Now, these senses could be used for evil, used by the devil or yourself, are totally capable, or they can be used to worship God and adore Him and praise Him. Now, because of all the discussion, I was going to discuss it next week, but now we come. When you got this, the cardinal virtues that we studied the other week, behind that, I don't know if you even read this, beware of Satan's traps of the pious. Because you know how we said you can use the gifts that you were given by God, you can have all these, your new Catholics. You're going to be acquiring this devotional practices. Like you're going to be praying novenas, you're going to be praying the rosary, going to Mass all the time. But then you grow into these pious practices. But there are traps in the pious practices. The devil wants us all sinners and would-be saints. We're all called to be saints. Mother Angelica said, we're all called to be saints. Do not miss the opportunity. What is temptation? Temptation work of Satan to drag you to hell. And Satan can read you like a book and play you like a piano. He can't read your mind though. Okay, he has to have your permission. You know, give him your mind. But he is excellent at picking up clues. I told you that already. Do not exaggerate his power, but do not underestimate it either. Some of the subtlest work is done in the area of religious observance. So beware of the trap. You're going to be overzealous, and then guess what? He's going to use that. Okay? He can cloak himself easily in the lamb's clothing of piety, but wolf that he is, distorted, either through excess of these practices or defect, thereby destroying you with what is good. Beware what some spiritual writers call the traps of the pious. Consider some examples. He can discourage you with prayer by saying, if only you would pray a little longer, God will give you what you seek. Do you believe that? That's a trap. Because now you're going to count how many novenas have you prayed, how many rosaries have you prayed. Now you are, you're concentrating on the number, on the amount, not the content and the intention and the disposition. So remember, that can be a trap. Deception. If we can pray just a little longer, and then guess what? You're going to always be feeling, I've never prayed enough. That's why my prayer is not being answered the way I want it answered. You see, that's another trap. This is how I want it. If it is not answered the way I want it answered, then he's not listening to me. Or, I have to pray 10 more novenas to get this. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a trap, okay? God becomes a cruel taskmaster now. He's demanding longer and more precise prayers. Prayer becomes superstitious. It's a superstitious endeavor whose outcome is somehow controlled by the length and type. You're trying to manipulate God, right? Too. And then now if he doesn't give you, the answer that you want, he's just a demanding, uncaring, unloving taskmaster. He becomes a cruel tyrant. So Satan can take a beautiful practice of praying the rosary or attending daily mass or other devotions and slowly incite in us, here's the other trap, a feeling of smug superiority. Oh, I'm so pious, We had a lady right here at St. Anne's.
So she's pointing at me?
No. Pointing that way, not like this. And this was years ago. So, she criticized another lady who did not say the Hail Mary the way she prayed it. Okay. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, is how she prayed it. And this other lady said, the Lord is with you. And she said, that's not the right way.
Well, it's the
Who
same.
said? You
It's
know
the
what I'm
same
saying?
thing.
We know thee or you. This is old, this is new, this is the same thing. Yeah, this could be more respectful anyway, but again, who has the heart in saying the Hail Mary, the better, it's the disposition and the intention. So now somebody who knows all the secret prayers, a long prayer, could memorize the litany to the Virgin, the litany of Loretto, all the titles of Blessed Mother. Now they're thinking they're superior to the rest who cannot memorize a single one, right? That's a trap. Smug superiority, elitism, or pride. Gradually, others are thought to be less devout, even in error, because they do not do or observe what is optional or encouraged but not required. What is beautiful and holy is now used to incite an ever-growing pride in cynicism. You see, that's a trap, okay? A most extreme example is the one, an excited example on the Fatima. When people are saying the consecration wasn't done, and people are saying, yeah, the consecration was done, and now there's a division. A holy, good, powerful thing like the apparition of Our Lady of Fatima, right? Excellent message, obviously, from heaven. Then you have two groups. The devil's doing that division. Some are saying Rcia wasn't consecrated. Rcia was consecrated. So now the devil is using something very holy in dividing, okay, the people. Again, Satan can also take what is required. So those devotions are not required but helpful for our faith, right? The novenas, the rosary, other prayers. They're optional. But if something helps you grow spiritually, go ahead and do it. If it's nothing contrary to the faith, okay, like writings of the saints, they recommend a certain prayer, that's fine, okay? But there's always that trap. You got to be aware of those traps. Now here, Satan can also take what is required and turn it into a kind of religious minimalism, a way of keeping God at distance. So he taps some souls with the notion that Sunday Mass, a little something in the collection plate, and a few rush prayers are the end of religion rather than the beginning of it, right? You're just doing the bare minimum. You're showing up, clocking in and out. Put $1 in the basket, right? And then that's it. You've done your duty, your obligation. I'm a good Catholic. I didn't kill anyone today. I went to Mass and put $1 in, right? Said a few rush prayers. I'm good. There's another trap. Presumption, okay? Also, yeah, it's like checking off the God box. Being done with God for the week, rather than the beginning, the foundation on which to build on a beautiful, deepening relationship of love with God. So minimal practices become a form of God control. For those tempted in this way, it's as if to say, I've done what I'm supposed to do. Now God and the church have to leave me alone. God also needs to take care of me now, since I've done what I'm required to do. Sure, we expect him to make the sun rise in the morning. We expect him to have good weather for us. We expect him to take care of our entire family. Everything good. Because we've done our part. Went to Sunday, put my 30 minutes or an hour Mass, as long as I showed up. And the time you were there, you were not even paying attention. How good is that 30 minutes? No good. The whole time you were there, you were busy criticizing everybody, criticizing the priest, criticizing the choir, complaining about the AC that's not there, or complaining about this and that. My chair's too hard. That's all you did for that hour, and you do it begrudgingly. But you check the God box. That's it. I'm done. I showed up.
Okay, what if you go to Mass and you try really, really, really hard to pay attention, but there's all these distractions?
Try harder.
Just try harder, okay.
Offer it up.
Offer it.
Remember that every distraction that you feel, turn that into a prayer. Your Lord, I am such a mess today. Have mercy on me. If that's all you can say, he takes it and he loves you for it. Part of that is showing up, appointment with God. I'm showing up, Lord, please help me out, dear guardian angel, Blessed Mother. You have so many avenues, plus the Eucharist right there in front of you. Okay, just keep going back, get distracted, pick up, go back. You fall, get back up, just keep doing this. It's the stuff of life. You're alive. That's why you get distracted. You breathe, you get distracted.
I would say that another thing, if you're having trouble at the mass that you're at,
Yeah.
is try a different one.
Yeah.
You go to the really early one where there's no kids, go to the later one where you're not
Choices.
hungry. Yeah, you can go to tons of different kinds of
You
things.
have choices.
And
Or you can go to the second one too.
yeah,
That's right.
everybody's got different music, everybody's got different like,
Yeah.
levels of
Yeah.
the little ones can be the
Yeah.
biggest distraction. I mean, it's really cute and they're just so sweet. But they have all learned to talk at the same time, I feel like, at the 11 a.m.
It's kind of like, don't fall in the trap, along with this, everybody's got the different parishes. You have certain people that have to sit in the same spot all the time. You better not infringe on their space, right? Or they give you HELL, right? You cannot disturb them. Okay, I know somebody, she's not hearing me. She sits on the very edge. She comes very, very early. Okay, we're on the edge. Now, it's a packed church, packed mass. Now, everybody that needs to go there has to disturb her because you know what? Folks in her prayer got her prayer book and you better not disturb her. So when you say, excuse me, she goes, no words, just a look. She has to send up. How have I observed this? Good example, right? Anyway, so now you feel guilty. You feel, oh my God, what did I do, right? But if you're going to do that, go to the middle so that you don't have to be disturbed and everybody can fill up the rest of the spaces if you're going to do that. Otherwise, you're going to be praying there and people are going to be coming. Go to the Adoration Chapel where you could be quiet and pray and then come out when you're ready and you've done all your prayers, if that's what you want to do. Because if you're there and everybody feels like they're disturbing you, again, what is common sense? The Lord is not this demanding, again, taskmaster, you gotta do this way, that. Common sense, He gave us that. Charity. Everything is done in charity. You gotta think of the other person. If you're gonna be like that, and find a time where you can really be quiet, no distraction. When you're done with that, now you're ready to face everyone with a smile, right? And bless the whole place instead of everybody cursing you and you cursing everybody. You see what I mean? Common sense, just get away from that occasion of sin for you and others.
Is there such thing as too much?
Yes. Remember our virtue of temperance?
Yes.
Accept loving God.
I
Accept
mean,
loving
too
God.
much, like, too much giving yourself up to God, because I got called one time
Total
as a fanatic.
Okay. Tell them thank you. If you're called a fanatic for God, you're called crazy for God, you're called a fool for God, you thank them. And here's another thing though. If you start caring about what other people think of you, that's another trap. You need to pay attention to what God will think of you. Now, charity rules too. You're so focused on God that you are actually cursing your neighbor. He didn't say that. What did He say? Love God, love me first, all your strength, power, might, intelligence, everything, but love your neighbor as yourself. You see, there's always this balancing act, because when you love your neighbor, you're loving God. All right? Of course, it's always number one, but charity tells you to be caring to everybody. Okay? If you're gonna miss mass because you help somebody in an accident, I can't stop for you because I'm late for mass. Good Samaritan story, right? What does God want you to do at that moment?
Help.
You see what I'm saying?
Go to later mass.
There is something as too much because we have the virtue of temperance, which is moderation, right? It depends. If it's for God, you should be accused of loving God too much. But you still have common sense, you still have charity, and you know what God wants you to do at that moment. That's what he's calling you to do, which is glorifying him.
I would have to say a lot of the questions we've had tonight can be helped by a little bit of self-reflection.
Yes.
Of thinking, why might somebody feel that way? You know, it's okay for people are going to say things that are mean and hurtful to you
They
all
will.
the time.
They
People are
will
very
anyway.
hurtful.
Oh, yes.
No matter what you do.
Are you ever reflecting on them of like, is there a little bit of truth in that? Was I unwilling to hear somebody? Am I not listening to what the people around me who love me are saying?
Yeah, that's true. It's also called the virtue of self-knowledge. Because sometimes you don't see yourself, but somebody else notices. And they're telling you the truth because they love you. You know, your parents are your best critics because they know you're the best. You know, and you don't realize that until you yourself get up to that age. And exactly when you have your own children, when the same things you hated your parents for when you were growing up, now you understand where they were coming from, because now you have your own kids. Remember the phrase we have, the sweet revenge of parents? They say, I hope you get the same kids like you. I hope you get the kids, you know, that you were like. That's their sweet revenge, because we don't understand until we ourselves become parents. But yeah, she's right too. You gotta have some, and then listen. Why am I getting this comment more than once? Maybe I am like that. I'm refusing to accept that I could be obnoxious at them. You know what? Maybe I am. Self-knowledge, which is from what? Humility. You have to acquire that, because you know this pride is always coming up in so many sizes, shapes, and forms. Pride. That's the pride of being pious. You know, like, oh my God, I know this prayer, I've memorized it, but she hasn't. You know, so there's that surge of pride.
So you talked about how the devil can treat your mind. It'll come in different forms, like distractions, or
Yeah.
can you come in your dreams?
In your dreams? I don't know. Dreams, you know, there's a lot of studies about dreams, but remember that God talked to Joseph, to, you know, several people in the Bible through dreams. Right? Dreams, through dreams. Okay? So, yeah, if it could be good, it could also be evil. A lot of those are from science, I think, products of anxiety or whatever we're dealing with that day or whatever, would come out maybe in dreams, right? And all of us have had nightmares. You know, the normal, not normal, but I'm saying, we've always had this sensation, remember, falling off sometimes or being chased by somebody. Those are common nightmares that we are starting, we wake up.
It's always being chased by a wolf.
By a wolf, or maybe eating too much that day or whatever. There are so many factors, but yes, because he's a very intelligent person, you know, the devil, remember he was, Lucifer was the most beautiful angel. Lucifer, his name means light, the most beautiful angel. When they got driven out of heaven, they did not lose their supernatural powers. They're very powerful. Okay, so do not go to people that interpret dreams though, because you know anyone will have a different interpretation.
It was my understanding that we don't believe that Satan has powers; he just has lies.
Lies.
But we do believe he has power.
He has powers. He was an angel, a fallen angel. He has powers. Super intelligent, more intelligent than us.
But only if we let him have power.
Well, he cannot work on us unless we let him or invite him, because
But his highest army is more weaker than the lowest army of God.
yeah. So, like God himself, you know, his folly is, I mean, our highest wisdom is still, you know, nothing to that. But yeah, they have powers. They did not